Hello. In this session, we will be revealing the transcripts of our students from the Korean International Institute, KII. It's time to disclose the transcripts of our KII alumni. We've already shared a lot of this information through our website and blog over time. For about 10 years, we've been focusing intensively on helping our students improve their grades. The reason is that when preparing for UK universities, many people claimed that you only needed to meet the grades required by the university. In reality, that may have been true in the past, before COVID-19. In the past, UK universities tended to issue admissions offers more easily. However, after COVID-19, there have been some changes in the admission process, and now we are seeing a somewhat different admissions pattern. As a result, simply preparing the grades required by the university is no longer enough to get into popular universities or popular majors in the UK. Of course, in addition to A-levels, you will also need grades from things like IGCSE or GCSE, which are similar to internal academic records, but beyond that, there are plenty of opportunities to build your resume, such as participating in academic competitions and other activities. Simply taking A-levels is not enough to get into the university or major you want. However, since A-levels are usually the final grades directly linked to university admission, it's not just about achieving the minimum grades required by the university. It's very important to get good grades in as many subjects as possible. From this perspective, let me share with you the results we've achieved over the past 10 years or more by providing A-level education to our students. For reference, these transcripts are only available to view at KII. First, let me briefly explain what A-levels are. It is an advanced, in-depth program recognized as a qualification for university admission in the UK. It assesses students' academic abilities in depth for each subject. And the highest grade is A Chincheng, a star. The grades are divided as follows: A, then A, B, C, D, and E. You need to understand just how outstanding achieving 3 A stars is. In the UK, most students, mainly those in public schools, take 3 subjects as the standard, and universities also use a minimum of 3 subjects as the basis for admissions. So, most students complete 3 subjects. These 3 subjects, as of 2025 in England, are typically taken by 18-year-olds, which would be equivalent to third-year high school students in Korea. If you look at the percentage of students who received a star in all 3 subjects, only the top 1.4% achieved 3 A stars. Getting 3 A stars is extremely difficult. Since the standard in the UK is 3 subjects, it means you have to get a perfect score in all 3. When you do that, you end up in the top 1%. So, as of 2025, a total of 3,890 people achieved this, making up the top 1.4%. These are the grades of our students. They received 3 A stars and 1 A. The subjects are chemistry, math, physics, and economics. So that's 3 A stars and 1 A. That would put them within the top 1%. Next up, this is 3 A stars and 2 A's. Accounting, further math, math, business, economics. Likewise, this would put them within the top 1%. This is 4 A stars. Accounting, business, economics, math. Likewise, this would put them within the top 1%. Next, we have 4 A stars and 1 A. Accounting, biology, further math, math, economics. Not only are they in the top 1%, but students who take 5 subjects like this are probably in the top 0.1%. Next, for chemistry, further maths, physics, and accounting, they received grades of 4 A stars and 1 A. Next, we have 5 A stars. That's A in all 5 subjects. For chemistry, economics, further maths, and physics, they received the highest possible grades, 5 A stars in total. Here's another case of 5 A stars. The subjects are chemistry, economics, further maths, and physics. Thank you. They received the highest grades, 5 A stars in all 5 subjects. Now moving on to 6 subjects. In accounting, chemistry, further maths, physics, and biology, they received 5 A stars, the highest grades, in 5 subjects and an A in 1 subject. At this level, aren't they above even the top 0.1%? So how did these students get into university? The student who received 5 A stars was admitted to the University of Hong Kong, the top university in Asia, with a full scholarship covering tuition. This is a real case. However, we only changed our students' faces using AI. We have continuously posted these updates on our Naver Cafe, and since materials from 5, 6, or even 7 years ago quickly become outdated, we've hidden some of the older ones. However, focusing on students who have recently been admitted, you can keep seeing these cases through our Naver Cafe. Next, at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, if you receive a star in 4 or 5 subjects, you can be selected as a full scholarship recipient. At Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, if you receive 5 A stars, you are awarded a tuition grant plus an additional scholarship, and in some colleges, extra allowance is also provided. According to our graduates, as posted on the website, there have been 8 students who graduated with more than 5 A stars, 10 students with more than 4 A stars, and 8 students with more than 3 A stars. Up to this point, these students are within the top 1% in the UK. Next, if we include those with 2 A stars and 1 A, there are 14 more students, and then with grades of A star AA or higher, there are an additional 14 students. Furthermore, those who graduated with A star, AB, or AAA or higher, which is generally considered the minimum threshold for entering excellent universities, number at least 8 more. Altogether, if we sum up all these students, they account for 45% of the total graduates are included in this category. Based on our A-level graduates, we have always said that this is a world-class, top-tier level for A-levels. You too can become the achiever of these grades. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.